Welcome to today's in-depth and engaging English lecture. In this session, we are going to clearly understand the difference between three very commonly used but often confused words: mistake, error, and incorrect. These words may look similar on the surface, but in real communication, they behave differently. If you master them properly, your English will sound more natural, precise, and confident in both speaking and writing. Let us begin with a simple idea. Why do learners confuse these words? The answer is because all three are connected to the idea of something being wrong. But the reason it is wrong, the context of wrongness, and the way we describe it is different in each case. Today, we will break that confusion completely. We start with the word mistake. The word mistake refers to something wrong that happens mainly because of human action, misunderstanding, carelessness, or lack of attention. A mistake is usually unintentional. It is something that a person does incorrectly without meaning to do it. Mistake is very natural in everyday life. It is the most human word among the three. It carries no strong technical or formal weight. It is soft, flexible, and commonly used in conversations, storytelling, and daily communication. Think of mistake as something personal. It is tied to your actions, decisions, or behavior. Now let us make it clearer with examples of mistake. First, I made a mistake while writing the letter and misspelled the name. Second, she realized her mistake after sending the wrong email to her teacher. Third, he made a mistake by trusting the wrong person. Fourth, it was a mistake to ignore the warning signs. Fifth, they admitted their mistake and apologized sincerely. In all these examples, the action is not intentional. The focus is on human behavior and learning from it. Mistake is something you can usually correct, learn from, and move forward. Now let us move to the word error. The word error is more formal, more technical, and more precise than mistake. It refers to a fault in a system, process, calculation, judgment, or method. Error is often used in academic, scientific, technological, and professional contexts. Unlike mistake, error does not always focus on human emotion. Instead, it focuses on accuracy, structure, and correctness of a process. It often suggests that something has gone wrong in a system or method that should have worked correctly. You will often hear error in fields like mathematics, computer science, engineering, medicine, and data analysis. Now let us look at examples of error. First, there is a calculation error in this financial report. Second, the software displayed an error during installation. Third, the doctor found an error in the test results. Fourth, grammatical errors can reduce the quality of your writing. Fifth, the machine stopped working due to a system error. Notice how error is connected to systems, processes, and technical accuracy. It sounds more formal and structured than mistake. It often requires correction through analysis, debugging, or review. Now let us move to the third word, incorrect. The word incorrect simply means not correct or not true. It is direct, factual, and objective. It does not explain why something is wrong. It simply states that something does not match reality, truth, or accepted information. Incorrect is widely used in exams, factual statements, official corrections, and objective communication. It is not emotional like mistake, and not technical like error. It is purely about correctness. Now let us understand incorrect through examples. First, your answer to this question is incorrect. Second, the information in this report is incorrect. Third, it is incorrect to say that the earth is flat. Fourth, his statement about the incident was incorrect. Fifth, the data entered into the system is incorrect. In all these examples, the focus is on truth and accuracy. There is no explanation of how the wrong thing happened. It simply states that it is not right. Now let us go deeper and understand the real difference in a practical and memorable way. Imagine you are cooking in the kitchen. If you add salt instead of sugar by accident, that is a mistake. If the oven temperature system fails and burns the food, that is an error. If someone says the dish contains chocolate when it actually does not, that statement is incorrect. This simple example shows how context changes everything. Let us take another real-life situation. In an exam, if you misunderstood a question and wrote the wrong answer, that is a mistake. If the marking system of the exam has a glitch, that is an error. If the final answer marked as correct is actually wrong, that result is incorrect. Now let us connect these words with communication skills. Mistake is used in everyday speech. People say I made a mistake very naturally. It is soft and personal. Error is used in formal writing, technical reports, academic papers, and professional discussions. It sounds serious and structured. Incorrect is used when we want to clearly say something is not right in terms of facts or truth. It is often used in corrections and evaluations. Now here is an important insight that will help you remember forever. Mistake is about action. Error is about system or process. Incorrect is about truth or fact. Let us repeat it in a powerful way. Mistake is when a person does something wrong unintentionally. Error is when something goes wrong in a process or system. Incorrect is when something is simply not right or not true. Now imagine how powerful your English becomes when you choose the right word instead of mixing them. Instead of saying there is a mistake in the computer system, a more accurate sentence is there is an error in the computer system. Instead of saying your calculation is a mistake, you can say your calculation is incorrect or contains an error depending on context. This level of understanding separates basic English users from advanced speakers. Before we end, let us do a quick revision in a story form. A student forgets a formula and writes the wrong answer. That is a mistake. The calculator gives a wrong result due to a malfunction. That is an error. The final answer printed in the book is not true. That is incorrect. 3 words, 3 different meanings, 1 clear understanding. If you remember this lecture, you will never be confused between mistake, error, and incorrect again. Thank you for watching and learning. Keep practicing, keep observing real usage, and keep improving your English step by step. Remember, small improvements in vocabulary lead to big improvements in communication.